Over the last week, I have seen more lies being spewed all over crypto, YouTube, and Twitter and the news than I have seen in a very long time. Now, as a result of these lies, which is just blatantly what it is, whether it's intentional or ignorant, they are lies. I have started to see retail investors exiting the market. I've seen people quitting and giving up, and I've seen people screaming all over the place that the bull market is over. And so, as a result of that, what I wanted to do today is make a quick video for you, talking to you about why what people are saying are lies, and well, what the truth of the matter here is. Now, you may be wondering, Tyler, what is this lie? What is this lie that could be so big that is making people just exit the market, just leave the market? Well, the lie that's being told is that what we're seeing in crypto right now has never been seen before. We've seen nothing close to this, nothing like it. It's not happened. These are unprecedented times. This is not good. And the only times that anything like this has happened was in a bear market. And as a result of that, people saying, oh, well, this has never happened before. It's never happened during a bull market. So we're obviously not in a bull market. So I guess we must be in a bear market. That's what everyone thinks. Now, listen, not everyone, because some of you watching this right now are like, yo, I don't care about none of this craziness. I'm just going to hodl, right? I'm not talking about you, but a lot of the emotional retail investors believe now that the crypto market is now entered into a bear market. Now, my intention with this video is to not try to convince you that the bull market is not over, because the truth of the matter is no one on earth knows. It could be, it could not be. I don't know. That's not the point of this video. I don't think it is, but that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is to tell you that the reason why people think the bull market could be over is based on many lies spread on Twitter by moon boys who are now trying to engagement farm, by fear mongering, by YouTube, the news, everything. Now, let me break this down. So as I mentioned before, the lie that's being told is that what we're seeing right now is unprecedented. It's never happened before. Crypto has never gone through this, never in a bull market. The bear market must be over. Look at what's going on. Now, let me break down the core reasons as to why people say that. Reason number one, they say, well, we don't have any more catalysts. Look at what happened. We had obviously the ETFs and we had Trump. We're all out of catalysts. The market's not pumping. It's not performed well after these catalysts, right? We just got Trump inaugurated and the market's not pumping. What could make it pump? It must not be able to pump. The market's going to go down. So the core reasoning is, well, we had these catalysts and the market's not pumping. Trump got inaugurated. That was supposed to be the moment where crypto goes up, and it didn't. If you've been here for a while, you know better, right? But let's say you're new. I want to show you something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen real quick, and we're going to head over. Let's go over this way. We're going to head over to the Bitcoin chart. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from 2017 and show you moments where there were huge moments in the crypto market during a bull market or during a consolidation period in which the market was supposed to pump, but it didn't pump, but it eventually pumped. Okay. So keep that in mind. It was supposed to pump. It didn't pump like everyone thought it was going to. It took some time, and then it eventually pumped. SegWit. We saw the SegWit protocol upgrade for Bitcoin. That was supposed to help with things like scaling and transactions and all that for Bitcoin. That was supposed to be the thing that took Bitcoin to the next level. And obviously it did, right? That was a huge moment for Bitcoin. But for 3 weeks following this massive moment in Bitcoin history, nothing happened. We actually saw Bitcoin's price fall from peak to trough. Let's see, 40%. A 40% pullback in a time where everyone thought, oh, this is the moment where everything's going to go up. It fell 40% going forward. Backed was one of the very first backings by a major institutional. I'm trying to explain this very simply. A very major institutional player that was supposed to introduce the crypto market into the real institutional side. Everyone thought that back here in 2018, we were going to finally start to see institutions jumping in because Backed was coming in, and of course there was more of a futures exchange. And so as a result of that, since they were backed by Bitcoin, physical Bitcoin for their futures at least, this was supposed to be the moment where everything went crazy for Bitcoin. And look how it performed. Yeah, it went up eventually, but it didn't just shoot up like everyone thought it would. You can see what happened. It pulled back. It didn't do that well. And then eventually over time, it gained some traction. It gained some momentum. Moving forward, the Bitcoin halving of 2020, the moment where everybody thought that Bitcoin was going to start its absolute run all the way up to $10,000. I mean, I remember, $20,000. I remember everyone screaming that Bitcoin to 20K, Bitcoin to all-time highs. This is going to be it. The halving is going to do it. The halving led to Bitcoin going sideways for over a month. Nothing happened. Almost nothing at all happened. Then eventually it caught momentum. We saw that intrinsic value grow over time as a result of course, the catalyst itself, the halving. Going a little bit forward, El Salvador legalizing Bitcoin as a legal tender. Okay. So everyone thought that if the moment that we saw one country finally take Bitcoin on as a tender, that was going to be the moment. And if you were there back in 2021, everybody was waiting for that back here, but it didn't happen. And then we went to the summer, people forgot about it. They kind of stopped talking about it. Well, the next thing you know, El Salvador just jumps in and they legalize it, which should have been the moment where the market took off, but it didn't. Matter of fact, it continued to pull back for a couple weeks before seeing the move towards the top side. Going a little bit forward, we have two more left. The 2024 ETF launch. Everybody thought that whenever spot Bitcoin ETFs launch, we were going to see billions and trillions of dollars flow into Bitcoin, and that was going to be the second in the moment that the crypto market took off. But in all actuality, look at what happened. The crypto market for a couple weeks did not do well. We didn't see Bitcoin really going anywhere because everybody was selling the news, right? So retail investors were selling the news as institutional investors were buying the crypto back from them, then leading the price to stabilize up until the point where retail stopped selling and institutions picked up a little bit, and then boom, next thing you know, we enter into the bull market. Then we go into the Bitcoin halving a couple months later, in which everybody thought this was going to be the moment in which Bitcoin did start to accelerate even further, because of course now you have institutional buyers buying and the halving all taking place at once, where in all actuality, that was actually the beginning of the summer lull that we saw in 2024. Now that leads us into 2025, in which you can see Trump's inauguration. I don't even know if I need to say anything right now. My question to you is, how has this not happened before? We have seen major catalyst after major catalyst. And you may say, well, Trump's inauguration is more important than all of those. You say that because we're in the moment. But if we were talking about the 2024 Bitcoin halving right around then, you would say this was the most important thing that's ever happened. If it was the ETF, this was the most important thing that's ever happened. A country finally adopting crypto, this is the most important thing that's ever happened, right? It's just recency bias that makes you think this is more important than all the previous things. Now, there could be intrinsic value injected by President Trump that we've not seen from anything else. That is true. But at the end of the day, the catalyst itself is not the core metric. The core metric is the fact here that we have seen this happen over and over and over again throughout bull markets, bear markets, and sideways markets. We have seen it over and over and over again. So tell me how the fact that we're not seeing the market just sending to $150,000 as a result of Trump getting inaugurated means that the bear market started. How? Make it make sense. Because quite frankly, during bull markets, even this bull market, we have seen the market drop substantially further than it has over the last couple of weeks. So how? Now, the next thing that people say, okay, the next point that people make, and it's a pretty decent point, but it's the next point that people make, is they say, okay, well, the problem, shout out to the sunrise here in San Francisco. My word, it's getting bright in here. One thing that people say, and we see it all the time, is they say, well, we don't have any more catalysts. Right? And I've talked about this on stream a couple times, but they say we don't have any more catalysts. We have Trump's inauguration, but that's about it. Okay, let me ask you something. In 2021, what catalyst did we have? You're going to say, well, we all were expecting to see hopefully maybe a spot ETF, which we all knew wasn't ready because they were dealing with the SEC still. So that was just a hope, but that wasn't realistic. And then a country legalizing Bitcoin as a tender, right? Let's equate that then. Well, if that is the case, and the only catalyst in 2021 that we had, which there's more, and I'm going to talk about in a second, but that we had that you might think about is the government adopting Bitcoin. Well, what's different than a Bitcoin strategic reserve? The Bitcoin strategic reserve is still an option that's on the table that may happen at some point that feels like it will eventually. How is that any different? Okay. The next thing you may say is, well, quantitative easing was going on in 2020 and 2021. Although the economy itself wasn't fantastic, we were really starting to see a lot of people who had a lot of money, or they had more money at least, as a result of, money printing and things like that. Let me ask you this. Right now, we are entering into a year of quantitative easing. Now, is it going to be as big as 2020 and 2021? Oh, absolutely not. No way. People aren't going to be literally getting mailed $1,000, $2,000 checks, but we are entering into a period where money will become cheaper, most likely as inflation continues to go down, right? And as a result of that, as money gets cheaper, liquidity goes up. When liquidity goes up, risk on assets increase in price. It's just what happens. So my question is, what's different? Well, you may say, well, 2021 was bigger, and I would agree. So does that mean that the bull market is for sure over, or does that mean that if we do have a bull market similar to 2021, it's just not going to be as big as the one from 2021? I'm fine with that. If you believe that the market in 2025 isn't going to do as well in 2021, I have no argument, because quite frankly, I may agree with you there. But my whole point is not the size of the returns. My whole point is, how does that guarantee that the bull market is over? And I can't let it go. I've been boiling on it. And when I'm laying down, I'm just thinking about it. because I see so many other YouTubers and so many guys on Twitter. And look, I'm a YouTuber. I'm an influencer. I own an influencer relations agency. So I'm not trying to call anyone out and I'm not trying to piss anyone off. But at the end of the day, you are lying. When you say this has never happened before and the bull market has to be over, you're lying and you know you're lying. You just want to fearmonger. That's all you're doing. And it just gets under my skin. So I'm going to stop here, but there are many other reasons why the bull market is not guaranteed over. And again, could it be over? Absolutely. It could be. Why? Because bull markets end when you don't expect them to. No one really expected January to be the end of the bull market. So it could be over. And I'm not saying it's not. There is a percentage chance that it is, but it is not guaranteed. It is not for sure. And the reasons why people believe it, again, are based on fallacy. And I don't like that. And so with that in mind, as this does continue to develop and as we start to get more clarity as to what's happening in this bull market, then yeah, I'll start to kind of talk about, if we start getting confirmations that the bull market is over, then I'll be like, okay, yeah, the bull market's probably over. We've not seen that yet. Bitcoin is going sideways. I know altcoins are getting wrecked. That's what happens. So nothing guarantees it yet. And so as all of this does play out again, I will continue to update you. I'll continue to let you know what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, and how things are moving. I will continue to call out this BS that I'm seeing because just because you're emotional doesn't give you an excuse to lie. Because what you don't get to do is you don't get to lie. And then when the bull market, or if the bull market does continue, just say you're sorry and continue on like anyone forgot, because I didn't. And so with that in mind, I would love some of you to argue with me in the comments. I want you to go in the comment section, take what I said today and tell me why it's wrong. Because when you do that, although you may see it as confrontational, I see it as, constructive. Maybe there are things I'm missing. I'm not perfect. I'm just a regular dude in a room with a computer talking to you right now. So I would love to hear your thoughts because it is constructive and it will help me get a better idea of the big picture from other perspectives. And that's what I want. So please do let me know in the comments why you think I may be wrong or why you think I may be right. Now, while you are scrolling down there, you guys know I got to shamelessly plug real quick. There's a couple things I want you to check out, okay? Option number one, I want you to head down there and I want you to check out the Discord server. Over in the Discord server, I released something just yesterday that warned people that volatility was going to hit the market, that we were going to see the market very likely start picking up in volatility or go crazy pretty soon. Less than 12 hours later, we saw the market absolutely take off. And so if you do want to get access to the school, it is very, very simple what we do. We take crypto investors like yourselves. We give you courses, coaching, classes, live streams, workshops, signals, research, Q&As, and much more to help you refine your strategies, because strategies are where gains are made. And the best part about it is that if you want your money back, you can have it, no problem. And in addition to that, it starts as little as $5 a month. And guys, I'm not talking about little gains. I'm talking about big gains. I can just scroll through and you can see how things have progressed over just the last 24 hours. Absolute madness. Even on a day like yesterday, this community is generating hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit, whether it's versus shorting, whether it's scalping, anything. I mean, it's absolute madness. So check that out down below. And while you are down there, do not forget your time is running out. If you do want to sign up with BitUnex and get some immediate cash to start trading with today, if you deposit $1,000, you're going to get a $200 future bonus to start trading with, and whatever money you make off that $200 is yours to keep. In addition to that, you're going to get a ton, and I'm talking absolute ton of options if you do start trading with that link down below, which could result in over $20,000 worth of prize pools that you'll get thrown into. So do go check that out. The link is in the description below. And like I mentioned before, hopefully I will get my Twitter back pretty soon here so I can start chatting with you all as I was before there. But obviously Daddy Elon is kind of mad at me right now because I called him a lizard person, so it is what it is. But with that in mind, guys, of course, I hope you guys did enjoy, and don't forget, leave me in the comments below why you think I'm right and why you think I'm wrong, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.